Call the meeting to order, 4:30. Starting with roll call. You want to start us out, Bob?
Aiken present.
Keekwan present.
Milky present.
Ours present.
Fig present.
Sweet present.
Seeing a quorum present, we'll move on to item number 3 with the approval of tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Hey, it's Jim. We got a motion by Brian Milkey, support by Jeff Sweet to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Hearing no opposition, tonight's agenda is approved. And moving on to agenda item number 4.
Move approval of both sets of minutes.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Bars to approve both sets of meeting minutes. Support by Mr. Fig for the special information meeting minutes and the regular meeting minutes. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The same? Hearing no opposition, minutes are approved. Hey, good one, Rick. 2 for 1 on that motion. You don't mess around. And going on to item number 5. Got some correspondence in your packet. Remus Road and Lincoln Road project status report. You got something that you, Mark?
Thank you and good evening, everybody. I'm pinch hitting for Rodney tonight. He's out. Just briefly, both projects, Lincoln and Remus, have been completed except for a couple punch list items and some restoration. Those are in process. Very pleased with both projects. Looks great out there. Thank the board for funding that and helping with the non-motorized pedestrian transportation along both corridors. As we make our way up Lincoln towards Pickard, we'll be able to access the park. And you might have seen in the paper a couple days ago, outdoor fitness center, I'll call it, that we hope to put in the park in next spring. So that'll be great for that. And then Pickard up and down, I think that's really going to open up that whole area between Bradley and Lincoln for some development. So it's what I have on the status, and be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Going to complete in front of the Township Hall here.
Yes,
Yes,
the
sir.
engineering is in process,
Okay.
and we're coming up and going around the corner. And we left that open. We just did the parking lot. We left that open because we'll be putting in a sidewalk there, and finishing up what remaining paving may need to be done out there.
Is the West DDA participating in that part of the sidewalk project as well, Mark, in the parking lot and around?
I don't know for certain. I don't think so, but
I kind of
think that
think
you
that
all
we
might
aren't
know
either.
better than me.
I was thinking that was all general fund, but
That's what I
could be
kinda
wrong.
thought too.
I think
Yeah.
that's correct.
Okay. That's good.
Right. Thank
It
you.
looks really good. I think that was a major improvement. Anybody coming across the street now that lives in those houses has a safer way down to the park or across to the recreation.
Yeah,
Big help.
I've thought about trying to look for a way to improve the safety, maybe some soft crosswalk type of thing, but, we're getting there.
Yeah. Good progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, question, you guys are ready for us to review and approve that pay app number 2, I guess, that's in the packet? A motion?
Yes, that will be, and Sherry will speak to it, item 7, B is in boy, the West EDA. One of those checks was actually approved at your last meeting, but it wasn't, something that wasn't in the packet or something, so the
Didn't
first
have the
check
pay
is,
app itself, probably.
approval post-check issuance, the second check is approval and then issuance.
Okay, Sherry can bring that up. So I guess we're ready to go, or public comment. And actually, I wanted you guys to introduce Luke Gunner. Is that how you say that?
You got it right,
He's
Tom.
our,
Yep.
he's our landscape guy that does the lawn cutting. So I just wanted to put a name with the face, and any questions for Luke, we do have a bill or a invoice from him we'll be paying tonight also. So,
Just want to get involved. This is our second year going for you guys. I think we have a 3-year contract, right, Tom?
I think, yeah.
I think it's 3-year. And so just kind of want to meet some folks and just kind of get involved with you guys.
Yep, Luke's local business guy. Family's been around here forever.
I'm the 3rd generation. I have 2 boys that'll be the 4th generation. My grandparents moved to Mount Pleasant in the early 50s.
And I appreciate all the work you've been doing, because as soon as you started your contract, that's when MDOT started. And so I know they've been using our lawn as their staging area for barricades, for cones, for stakes, for missed dig flags, and he's been cutting around those for 2 summers now. So, no, I appreciate it, Luke. Appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
So now we're ready for Sherry.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So let's start out with the East DDA accounts payable. We'll go over that first. We are issuing a payment to Consumers Energy for $570.39. And we have a check issued to All Season Snow Removal and Lawn Care. That's for mowing and trimming on the 2 properties that the East DDA purchased. That's for $120. And then we have payment to Be Green Lawn Services. This is for $3,490. There was a fertilizer and weed control application done on July 14th, and also a fertilizer and weed control application on September 2nd. So this check covers both of those. And then we have a check issued to, I'm sorry?
Can I interrupt and ask Luke while he's here, if there any results from those applications that you saw? Did you notice any difference in the broadleafs, or, because it says weed application, and then 2 of them, one of them back in July, would have hopefully seen some results. Right, but I was just wondering,
If
doing,
you notice anything.
yeah.
So I'm not actively there on the property for you guys each week, but I can definitely ask, my main mowing guy, Dylan, and he observes all that stuff pretty well, so I could
Okay.
ask him and see.
All right, because you understand, it's $3,500. We like to know that there's not, because it's a pretty big effort to fertilize it, but also knock out the broadleaves at the same time, so we have the mowing is more even.
Yeah.
Don't have to see the results of broadleaves popping up and things like that.
Yeah, I'll talk to Dylan and then I can let Tom know what he says and if it's improved this summer or not. But
thoughts
Or-
are.
Yeah, stayed the same or even gotten better would be great. Thanks, Luke,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thanks, Sherry, for letting me
Yep.
interrupt there.
No problem.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, so moving on with the accounts payable, we have a check issued to Goner Lawn Care for the mowing on Pickard in August. That's for $2,175. And then we have a check issued to MMI. This is for cleanup around the park benches and grounds maintenance along Pickard there. That check is for $1,497. That covers 2 months, July and August. And then we have a payment to Mid-State Asbestos Removal for $1,900. That was for a pre-demo asbestos survey for 2120 Yachts Drive. And then we have a payment to Pleasant Time Herb Farm. This is to water, weed, fertilize flowers, baskets and everything for July and August. That check is for $3,474.75. And then we have a check to Teelan Turf Irrigation for $8,036.07. That's for several irrigation repairs along Pickard. So we have a total accounts payable for your approval for the East DDA tonight of $21,263.21. Are there any questions on those?
On the pre-demo for yachts, do you know if they found any asbestos on that survey?
I do not.
My guess is they always find asbestos.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. That it seemed like an older home, and
Yeah, there is, but I mean, as far as, it's a linoleum, the caulk is one thing, windows, nothing that's probably very friable or be a problem, that'll have to be abated before the building comes down.
that was my curiosity, was they getting rid of it first.
Yeah, they're structure that old, there will be asbestos materials in there.
That was my thoughts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sherry.
I checked the
Thank you,
bill and
Jim.
it doesn't specify.
I'm sorry?
I checked the bill and it doesn't specify, but we could have Rodney get back to you with an answer.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the answer is yes. I was just kind of curious what we might think as far as costs
That
for
is
pre,
gonna be the big
and
one.
that was where I was getting at with that. But thanks.
Mhm.
On the lawn mowing, the $60 is what frequency? Is that monthly, is that quarter,
That was a one-time mowing.
One-time mowing.
Mm-hmm. For those, each of those two properties. Any
Make
other?
a motion that we, you wanna do them together or just individually?
I do of the 21,000, do them all together.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, let's, make a motion that we approve the, East DDA, payables as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by Zalad, support by Sweet, to approve the East DDA payables. Hearing no further questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. And motion's carried. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the West DDA accounts payable. The first check on here was issued August 26th to Isabella Corp. It was the first progress payment for the Remus Road sidewalk in the West DDA. That was for $175,428.55. That was the invoice that you approved at your last meeting for an early payment. And then, we have a second check issued tonight for, dated 9/20 to Isabella Corp. And then this is a second progress payment for the Remus Lincoln Sidewalk Project. The check amount for that is $237,163.20. So you're welcome to approve both you'd be approving the first one a second time, or just approve the second check for the 237,163.20. Are there any questions on that?
You need approval on just the second one or the all?
I think just
Yeah,
the
the
second one.
278.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the check for $237,163.20
Second?
to Isabella Corporation, sorry.
Got a motion by Bars, support by Sweet, to approve the contractor's pay application number 2. Any questions?
One question, is that the total for the project then?
I think there's 10% retainage.
There's some retainage, and then there'll be a final balancing change order for, I think the total contract was $470, and we should be, when they get done working all the, final contract quantities and everything, we'll probably be under contract quantity. So that's what, the final estimate will have all those quantities, so there'll be one more estimate, but there's still, like I said, as Jeff mentioned, the retainage, there's still $63,000 left in the contract, and we won't, I don't think we're gonna spend it all.
Thanks, Jim. Well done, well done. Turned out good.
Yes, it did.
I like the way you wound around all those trees. That has to be a nightmare for your people, wouldn't it?
It's not, it's a lot nicer when you look down there and it's a straight arrow, and this,
Yeah, it
but
worked.
when you get up to the wows, you understand, oh, yeah, it's that, or we could have waited for, the phone company to move their pedestal over 2 or 3 feet. to
Good
get
enough,
out of the way,
yeah.
so we
No.
just
Yeah.
went around.
Yeah.
Connected the dots, for sure.
Any more questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. And motion is approved.
And I abstained.
And 1 abstention.
Okay, moving on to the East DDA financials. We'll take a look at your revenue and expenditure report first. When you look at your revenues, you can see that revenues are currently at about 90% of the budget. And all of your expenditures from the payables you just approved are posted here in the year-to-date balance. And your percent of budget used for the East DDA is about 15%. Are there any questions on any of the detail of this, on this report? Okay, if not, I'll move on to the balance sheet. Looking at your balance sheet for the East DDA, you have just under $1.9 million in assets. And then your fund balance is also just under $1.9 million. If there's no questions on those, I'll move along onto the West DDA. Stop me if you have a question. For the West DDA financials, let's look at the revenue and expenditure report first. Your revenues are just sitting at about 100% of your budget. And then your expenditures are, in your expenditure area, all of the accounts payable checks that you just approved are posted here as well. And you have you're sitting at about 44% of your budget in the expenditure area.
Still a lot left to spend.
And then moving on to the balance sheet for the West DDA, you have about $1.6 million in assets and fund balance. Are there any questions on the West DDA, financial reports? If not, thank you very much.
Thanks, Eric. So let's let the record show the August financial reports were presented and received for the East and West DDA. Moving on to item 7C, got the board member matrix for your review. I think there's only a couple of us coming up due, and I'm one of them.
And Mr. Bacon.
Mhm.
And moving on to item 8, new business. We got there 8A, adoption of the schedule.
So it works for me.
So that's just a formality we have to do every year. I don't see any issues with it.
You need a motion?
Need a motion by Sweet,
Second.
support by Zalid, to approve the adoption of the 2023 schedule of EDA board meetings. Hearing no further question, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. And the motion is approved. Item 9, pending business. Everything there? Mark?
Nothing.
Nothing? Item 10, director comments.
I have none, and Mr. Nandy did not have anything that he wanted me to bring up for tonight.
Anybody else for the good of the order? I had a couple. I thought we would just ask Rodney for an update on 2 projects, like the Yates House, like your project. Whatever happened to the lift station?
Waiting on consumers, waiting on parts, waiting on everything else. I haven't talked with Kim about this, so this is unofficial, but yeah, we're getting stuff around the pumps. We're 26 weeks. They told us it would be 26
Wow.
weeks, and so they'll show up when they show up. So we're looking at, and then consumers said, oh, we're having trouble getting wire, and so it may very well be springtime before that's completely unofficial. I haven't talked to Kim about that yet.
Okay.
But,
Well, we got the update right there, so.
that's-
That was
we are
pretty good.
proceeding, it's just waiting for ships to arrive.
All right.
Tom, do you have any updates on the Lincoln Broomfield intersection project? Or do you know of any information
That I
That's
defer to
moving.
Jim. Or I don't know.
I'm
That's another one we could request an update from Rodney.
Trustee Hauk did provide an update to the board last Wednesday,
Good.
and I can only relay what, at best I can, of what he said. And this is from a road commission meeting. They did have a water problem over there. I think the water
from the
table.
rain?
No, I think it's more the water tables, what I'm gathering. They didn't use that word, but they, as they were digging to put in the drain lines, the sewer lines, I guess it's not sewer, right? It's storm
Yeah,
drain.
Stormwater.
Yeah.
Stormwater, yeah.
The water was not allowing that to happen, so they had to dig holes in the ground to get pumps in to bring the water out of that area. And I think that took about a week, roughly. Does that sound about right from that report?
Yeah, they were down for at least a week.
Yeah, so that set them back a little bit, but I think the road commission, at least what they voiced to trustee Hauk, was that they felt they would get back on track as soon as they got rid of the water issues. So it's moving, but that doesn't,
We did get a lot of rain a
we
couple
did,
of weeks ago.
that
right
Friday,
there. There was like 4 inches in 2 days.
and that was during that time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't contradict anything you're aware of then, what I just stated?
No.
It'll be done
We put,
by hunting season or
yes,
Thanksgiving.
We put the water line in there and we had to do water to put bury the 6 foot deep water in it. Their storm sewer is a little deeper than that, so I only chuckled because it was somehow a surprise that it was wet. My secretary knew it was wet. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. So, next regular meeting is Tuesday, October 18th, 4:30 here. Look forward to seeing everybody there. And thanks everybody who showed up tonight. Thanks for showing up, Luke.
Yeah, thank you.
I already got a response from Dylan, he said that the grass is pristine, that's great. They've been
So
doing a good job.
Did help.
Well, that's great to hear. Thanks for letting us know so quickly.
Yeah.
That's great news. Thanks.
And we can call the meeting adjourned, 4:58.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.